We live in a world where you can pretend. We're in the age of social media. Like, you can make people believe almost anything now.
We live in like a loud world where anybody can like get you to do something just because they have a lot of followers. They have people backing them, and it's like, let's stop. Let's ask the right questions.
Yeah.
Because they're relatable.
It can become dangerous in some cases if people are likable but not credible.
Credible, exactly. When you go for a job interview, what they asking for? Your resume.
Yep.
Why they asking for that? They want to know your proof and if you're credible or not. We need to apply the same like standard that we do in our careers, in our personal lives too. Really just learning to listen to my own voice and to really focus on myself and what I want. I kind of like just free myself from other people's opinions and really just tune out the noise.
Back for another incredible episode of Finding Your Niche with Neisha. I'm your girl Neisha, and today I have the privilege and the honor of sitting across from someone who I admire for just being, one, beautiful inside and out, and just someone who is genuine and cares a lot about people and really has the receipts to back up what she's about to talk about today. None other. Welcome to the show, Tiasia Saunders. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm excited to finally sit down and talk to you in this kind of capacity. I know we've exchanged, messages and stuff over Instagram, and we've had some short instances where we've been able to talk, but now I really get to hear your story. So I'm super excited about that.
I'm super excited to be just sitting across from you. I'm thankful for this opportunity because everything you do, I'm like, yes, queen. I love it so much, and you're making an impact. I just want you to know that. And I've been able to be blessed by what you do, and I'm just grateful for that.
Yes, I receive that. I'm learning to receive that because one of the things is, and even the same for you, I could say the same thing for you, because when you're on social media, you can't really tell the actual impact that you're making. People will like it or they'll heart it or whatever, but it's like, did it really resonate? You don't really know for sure. And so for you to be able to sit across from me and just, explain to me and tell me that I am actually doing something that's meaningful, that means a lot to me. And I'm like, okay, good. I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we're here to talk about, finding your niche with Niche. I love to talk to people about how they kind of found their footing and what it is that they were called to do. How do they get in that industry? What really moves them and drives them? So I really want to start off because you are in the public health space, right? And I was joking with Kenny before you came. I just have, and I don't know if it's me, but I'm sure I'm not alone in this. What is public health? Because I feel like it's just such a convoluted or complex thing, because I'm really trying to piece the things together of when people say I'm in public health, what does that actually mean in English?
Great question. And I'm happy you asked that question because a lot of people don't know, right?
Yeah.
And so let me give you the rundown.
Okay.
So medical professionals like doctors, nurses.
Yes.
Typically when you go to the doctor, they're treating one person at a time, right? It's a one-to-one encounter. You want to respect people's privacy.
Yeah.
So they only can treat one person at a time.
Okay.
Public health, we focus on population health. We focus on the community. And so let me give you examples. Things like washing your hands, things like wearing a mask, things like safe sex education, like putting on condoms. Public health focus on educating the public as a whole so that we can prevent things like diseases and prevent things like illnesses. And so if you do that, it really goes a long way. Yeah,
okay. That just literally crystallized it for me. Because before I was just like, what does that mean? It could mean I feel like it could mean so many different things. But if I never really think about it now, I feel kind of silly because it's just put the two words together, public and health.
Right. Focus on the public.
Focus on the public
to make them healthier.
To make it more healthy. Yeah. So now it sounds very simplified. So I appreciate you for explaining that. And so it takes the right kind of person to want to be in that kind of space because you have to actually have the capacity to care, it sounds like, at the core of it. Where did that come from? Like, have you always wanted to be in public health? Have you always just had kind of this servant attitude where you care about people? Talk to me a little bit about your inception into how you got into that space.
I love that. I would say so. I've always been such a caring person. I'm like just such a people person. I value relationships. I value connections, and I value health. Like, I feel like everybody should live a healthier lifestyle. And so I like to look at it as wellness, and not, because wellness encompasses everything, right? So like physical health, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial. And so for me, I do like to focus myself as like a wellness professional, because I like to kind of empower people and teach people that you should be healthy in all aspects of life, right? Not just, certain ones. But it really takes like a whole overview look to be able to live a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like one of those things. It's like, it's easier said than done. I feel like most people, if they're in their right mind, like most people want to live a healthy life, but may not necessarily have the desire to change the way they live in order to live that healthy life. What do you guys do, I guess, to try to close that gap between getting people to see how important it is to live healthy, and then what results can come if they do decide to live healthy lifestyles?
A lot of education, and part of what I do as a certified health education specialist, I do a lot of education towards the public, like partnering with a lot of like just different health organizations. I've worked for health departments before. I partner with different community organizations to educate the public. And in my business, Healthy Living Culture, what I do is I partner with organizations and individuals that are health focused, like their business focused on health, and I help them craft messages that goes to their community.
Their community, yeah. Like, so, what kind of, like, give me an example of what you mean by that. Like, you help them craft messages that go to their community. Like, in what sense?
Yeah, so like for me, my background is public health nutrition, and so if anybody who gets their degree or their kind of start in public health, you have to focus on like an area, because it's so broad, like you said. And so when you like niche down, and so for me, public health nutrition was that that's my my foundation is public health nutrition. And so for me, I started working with a couple different companies, and so for them, I would like do like social media and social media messages, and also like newsletters and things like that goes out to the public. And this could be anything, like eating a variety of nutritious things makes you
because I was about to say, even the word, we're gonna have to keep like breaking everything down. This is good, because even just people saying like nutrition, it's like, what is it? Like, what is nutrition? Is it like finding the right like scale of food? Like, what is it? Is it just eating? Is it drinking more water? Is it many things? Like, what is it in terms of like when you're really trying to advocate for like a better, lifestyle around nutrition? What is the message?
For the most part, we always like to say you like to do things in moderation. That's key. And then like low salt, low sugar, of course, drinking a lot of water.
Yeah.
And so for me, I like to focus on just, because we have like culture, we have different cultures, right? And I'm from the South, baby. I love me some like yams, macaroni.
Fried chicken, everything that's not good.
You're not taking away my Southern food. But what I can do is focus on making it kind of healthier, like using less salt, not using a lot of sugar, making sure I incorporate some vegetables, the greens, the broccoli, the kale.
I'm hungry now.
And you can make it taste good. And so for me, those are the type of messages that I craft for different audiences. Like just eating a variety of fruits and vegetables goes a long way. Making sure you drink plenty of water, that goes a long way. You know, getting enough sleep, that goes a long way.
Yeah, and that's interesting too, because I feel like there's always at least one or two people that are in your family that are like the health people in the family. So would you identify yourself as the one where everybody's like, oh, here go Tiasia, like she finna come tell us like not do this, not do that? Are you the person or your family that's like that?
Absolutely. Like,
so you're the cop. You're the health cop, health police.
Yes, I'm the health police. I'm the health police. But not when it comes to, gatherings. Like we have 4th of July coming up. Like my dad and my uncles are putting food on the grill. I'm like, go all in, Yeah. But that's okay. Like holidays and stuff like that, you're okay to like indulge in those foods. You just don't want to do that like every single day. You know, you want to like mix it up a little bit.
Do do they actually like receive what it is that you have to say about like health? Like if you notice something and you're just like, hey, I would recommend like you change this, change that. Like, is it well received in your family, or is it just kind of like falling on deaf ears?
It's well received.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I'm not like pushy. Like I just kind of like how we're doing, like just a natural conversation, you know. Like I'm not gonna be like, hey, make sure you eat your fruits and vegetables. But yeah, I try to mix it up. I try to make it lighthearted. Try to make it fun because no one just wants people to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
We don't want that. You got to focus on receipts.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like everybody gives their opinions, and that's kind of why I wrote the book, Receipts Over Opinions.
Yes.
Like we literally get opinions from left to right, like your family members, co-workers, a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
Opinions come from everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I like to focus on the receipts.
Yes.
And like a lot of the questions that I ask the people be like, what have you done? What are you doing that's focusing on, elevating yourself? If you're giving me an opinion about something, I'm like, okay, should I take this opinion?
Yeah.
Because is it going to move me forward?
Exactly.
Is it something of value? And so I feel like the more we can learn how to filter out people's opinions, the better we can free ourselves and live the life that we actually want.
I love that.
That's my goal. And that's exactly why I wrote Receipts.
I love that. Okay, and I have some questions for the book too that I want to get into in just a second. But I want to stay on the exact thing that you just said, like getting people's opinions out of our heads so that we can go ahead and like live and navigate space and life in a way that like is true to us. How long did it take you to kind of come to that conclusion on how to not be so invested in what people think?
That's a great question. It's something I think is going to be a lifelong thing that you learn. But for me, I kind of figured it out early on, especially when you like navigating your career and just like relationships and stuff. I remember there was a time where I was completing my master's program and I was going on to do my thesis. And I had a professor tell me that basically she didn't think that I should do it because, I don't know, basically she was saying that I wouldn't be able to focus or just kind of like not believing in me.
Yeah. Interesting.
And so that, what that made me want to do?
Go even harder?
Girl, go even harder. Like, please don't tell me something.
What? You said what?
I can't do.
You said I can't do what? Okay.
Don't tell me what I can't do because I'm just going to show you.
Right. I love that.
Like, and I'm going to have my receipts.
I'm going to
show you better than I can tell you, baby.
That is so good.
That's the one thing that motivates me when people like try to push their opinions on you. And sometimes people be trying to like project.
Yes.
Like acting like they know you or trying to tell you something that's, not really you.
Yeah.
And if you don't know yourself, which is why I think people should do a lot of reflection. We need to do reflections and audits of our lives to see like what have we done and exactly where we're trying to get to. And then you need to like fill in that gap.
Yes.
And so for me, one of the reasons I wrote Receipts Over Opinions is because I figured out that is where I need to be. Like I figured out, okay, I do have credibility. I can do all the things I said I can do.
Yes.
And here's how I can do that.
Yeah.
And I offer like tips and strategies and just resources and tools in Receipts Over Opinions to help other people figure that out too.
Yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about, because we talked about, those external opinions, those external voices that we get from other people. But I feel like a lot of the setbacks that we experience and a lot of the stagnation in terms of where we want to go come from the opinions that we have about ourselves. Like the internal thoughts that we think, how we speak to ourselves, what we believe about ourselves that may not be true. It's like a huge facet to you, I guess, becoming the version of yourself that you want to become. What would you say is an opinion that you had about yourself that you thought was true for a long time that you realized was a lie?
That's a great question. I would say for me, because I do have like all of this kind of experience, and I did do, there's different routes to different things. Some people go to college, some people don't. And I chose the route of like going to college. And I feel like, college is a good thing, and right? But it kind of puts you in a position where you want to like, work for other people for the rest of your life and not really know that you can like venture off and like do other things, And so for a long time, I think I was focused more on just like, getting a job and just like focusing on that instead of like becoming an author or having my own business. And it's like, why do I have to pick?
Yeah.
I can do it all. I want to do it all, and I will do it all. And for me,
Period.
that's right. That's when I realized, like, you don't, like, yes, I love what I do. I work in healthcare implementations. I love doing that.
Yeah.
I'm an author. I love doing that. I have my business. I love doing that. And I'm not going to, settle or
So
choose.
the opinion that you had to stop believing was that you could just be one-dimensional.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Just one-dimensional.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say is an opinion about yourself that you're still trying to unlearn or unbelieve?
Oof, good question. Let me think about this one for a second. Unbelieve. I would say that it takes like a long time to get somewhere, or like you have to really so like writing this book, right? Like I started writing it like maybe a year ago, but I really like locked in like 6 months ago.
Wow.
And here it is
It
today.
is, yeah.
And so like I feel like a lot of people, when they ask me like how long you took to write it, I say like practically 6 months.
Yeah, for real.
They're like, really? Like some people take a long time to write books, like years and years. And they're like, well, did you do it with AI? No.
Wow.
Like I wrote it.
And
it's because I know what I wanted to say. I feel like when you know what you want to say, you know who you are, you lock in,
that's
you can do
so
anything.
good. And that's strong. That's a strong point that you're making, because so many people are now coming out the woodworks as authors, but it's like co-author with ChatGPT and Claude.
Right.
But for you to say like, no, I thought this through. I knew what I wanted to do. I set my mind to it. And what's in the book is from me. I feel like that's really strong and very commendable, because a lot of people like to hide behind AI and just help in general. But for you to like stand on 10 toes, like, no, I know my stuff. I know what I've experienced. I know my expertise. I know the background of my industry, and I have something to say about it. I think it's really profound. So tell me about the day, like walk me through the day where you're like, okay, you have this experience. You've, been able to grow in business. You've been able to scale, learn a lot about who you are. And then one day you're like, I think I'm going to write a book about it. What even made you decide to go that route?
That's a great question. For me, it was a multitude of things, honestly, like several different things. For one, so my book is focused on career.
Okay.
But it's focused on career, but it definitely can apply to like relationships, personal, family members, like, whatever you're trying to do, it can apply to that.
Okay.
And I feel like for me, like most Americans, a lot of us spend our time at our jobs.
Yep.
A lot of us spend our time working,
Facts.
And so I'm like, well, those concepts that I apply to at work and I apply when I, in a professional setting, I can apply those to other aspects of my life.
Yeah.
And do better. And so that was one of the things that got me to really think about it. Like, when it comes to applying for a job, you know what they ask for? A resume.
Yeah.
When we go to the store, what they're giving you? A receipt.
They want the
and
proof,
so,
baby.
Why? They want the proof. Everybody wants the proof.
Yes.
And that's how people should live their life. Like, focus on the facts. Focus on the proof.
But that's so interesting, too, because we live in a world where you can pretend. Like, this is like, we're in the age of social media. Like, you can make people believe almost anything now.
Exactly.
Like, it's just crazy that people... I don't know. I think that's so powerful what you're saying on like the real, the idea around like credibility, the actuality behind like knowing the information.
Yes, and don't get me started on social media, girl. That's social media is a great thing, but most people like they're just believing things that people say without checking background.
Yes.
Like, how about you vet somebody before
true.
You just believe something they say just because they have like hundreds of thousands of followers?
Yeah,
or something.
that is so true.
Like, put in the work, put in the effort, and you will.
Yeah, I feel like that is a lost practice. Like this whole like checking for receipts, even in media. Like now, like what you're saying. Like you'll see something posted about somebody, and it's just like. I did not happen that way. Like nobody is checking to see if this is if this is true. It's more so now who can get this information out the fastest.
And
it
who
doesn't
has
even
the
have to be,
loudest.
and who has the loudest voice. It doesn't even have to be true.
Exactly.
Which is very scary. It's a very scary place to be in.
It is so scary. And it's definitely inspired, one of the reasons that inspired me to write the book too. Because in the book, I do talk about that. Like, I talk about how we live in like a loud world where anybody can like get you to do something just because they have a lot of followers. They have people backing them. And it's like, let's stop. Let's ask the right questions. Let's find out, you know, what they have, what have they done, where's their credibility. You know, we need to, I think we should.
We need to get receipts. We need to get back to getting receipts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to dive into it a little bit. I'm going to pick a chapter or two, and I want you to kind of break down like what that is about, what people can expect once they read it. So, Receipts Over Opinions, a blueprint to building credibility that lasts. That is so good. And I love this cover. It's really cute. Okay, I'm just going to thumb through it and then stop somewhere.
Okay.
Ooh, okay, I'm going to put that, I'm going to put a pin right there, and then I like this because it's so like, what's it going to be? Ooh, I'm going to do this one first. Chapter 10, The Cost of Conviction.
Awesome.
Tell me about that. That's a strong word. Well, both of those are strong words, cost and conviction. So what is this chapter kind of describing, and why is it important for people who need to pick up the book?
Great question. So I love this chapter, The Cost of Conviction, because it's really explaining like the cost that you're going to encounter yourself when you don't look for receipts, when you don't find the proof, when you don't ask the right questions.
Yes.
Because it can really set you back, like who you trust and, you know, who you decide to put yourself behind.
Yeah. And I know you said it was about career, but like as soon as you just said it and described it that way, I'm immediately thinking about like relationships.
Yeah.
So this is so powerful because it can like really translate into so many different areas of life, whether it be like relational, well-being, intellectually, financially, like so many different areas that one thing can bleed into. I want you to unpack that a little bit more because I don't think people realize that they don't really count the cost. Like when they go into doing something or pursuing something, they don't really realize what it could cost them if they don't make the right decision to do it. So talk to me a little bit about like the decision process in terms of like going about things the right way.
Absolutely. So one of the examples that I give in the book is listening to other people's advice. So like even if it's like, you know, a leader, a manager, you know, whoever, sometimes people give advice that don't really apply to you, or maybe they think it applies to you, but it's like they don't really know you enough to really give that advice. And so I put a chapter in there and kind of give some like real life examples of my own experience. Like early on in my career, I kind of did like listen to someone who was like a supervisor of me, just giving me opinions or feedback on what they thought I should do with my career.
Okay.
And so I'm a big feedback person. I love asking for feedback. I think you should because it's a way that you can grow.
Yeah.
You want to know how people perceive you, you know.
Yeah.
But also I'm a big person where I have to make sure the persons that give me the advice, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They know who I am.
You got to vet them.
I got to vet them because if you don't, it can like set you back. And I think the example that I share in there was about, you know, earlier in my career when I was trying to get a promotion, that kind of set me back just listening to someone who really didn't know me and they didn't really know what I have done, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, didn't know my credentials, didn't know my background. And so that can really cost you. It can really, you know, set you back and take time to you'll get back up, but it's still a setback.
And I want to actually talk about that a little bit more, and I'm going to do another chapter in a second. But you just reminded me of something that's so important because I feel like in terms of confidence and like you showing your receipts as a person, I feel like a lot of women withhold their receipts in different circumstances where they might feel like intimidated by someone's presence or intimidated by the environment that they're in or that they're not ready for. So I really want you to kind of speak to that. Like, how have you been able to navigate? Like, no, I know my stuff. I know my numbers. Like, this is right. And I'm sure about it. I have my receipts. Like, how did you find confidence to still be like, show receipts in different circumstances in your life? Like, where did that come and how did you build that up over time? Because it's a muscle. It's a muscle that you have to like build up the confidence to be good at, you know, showing your receipts.
I love this question. This is my favorite question. Because it takes A lot. It really does. And you have to continuously empower yourself. Like, you know what you've done.
Yeah. You
know who you are. You know what people tell you. And so for me, I do like an audit of my life. Like, I look at everything I've done, all of my receipts. I ask for that feedback, and I just compare it against, what I think and what other people are saying about me. And it's like, when it lines up, then it's like, that's the proof. Like, it's undeniable. Yeah. And so you have to really focus on the receipts. Like, look at your resume. And for people who don't know, or people who still struggling with that confidence, one of the big things that I would say is find out where you want to be, find out what you've done, and really lock in on that, because nobody can tell you who you are but you. Yeah.
That's good. And I think over time, if you were to look back on your own life, like I said, it is a muscle. Can you recall where you can sense like, I could have spoke up in this meeting and said something that I knew for sure was a fact or a statistic, or like these numbers are off or whatever the case might be, but I just decided to like withhold that information? And then a moment where you're like, no, I'm going to like actually speak up, and I have the receipts to back that up. And then what was the payoff from that?
Great question. I would say I did that earlier in my career, like didn't really speak up as much. And not because, I was scared to or anything, just because I'm very observant. I like to like lay the land, get to know things before I speak up. Because I am when I believe something, I'm a big advocate for it. I like to advocate for people. I like to advocate for different populations, which is why I work in public health. Part of public health is advocacy. Like, you have to advocate for people who are not able to do it for themselves. We work a lot with like vulnerable populations. And that's one way that we move public health forward, by advocating. And so for me, I think as I grew more of like the confidence, as I kind of like got the lay of the land and kind of understood, where I was at and who I am, I began to speak out more. I began to be like, okay, hey, I'm going to ask a question that nobody else is asking. Yeah. I'm that person in the room. I'm that person in the boardroom. I'm going to ask that question, but I'm going to do it in a way that's kind of received well by other people. Because I feel like the question that you asked about like how people try to like kind of shy away from something or like dim themselves a little bit. Yeah. I do that sometimes, and it's because I'm so direct. And so
you're trying to make sure you come across right. I'm trying to come correct.
Yeah, I'm trying to come correct. Like, people gotta, because it's one thing to be direct, but it's another thing for people to not receive what you're saying. Yes. And so because I ask for feedback, like I love growth too. Like writing this book helped me grow a lot. I do ask for that feedback, and one of the things that I think I get a lot is like how direct I am. And so I try to like tone it down a little bit. Yeah. Put in some little fluff in there.
I'm gonna have to see you in work mode, because I need to see this direct version of you, because you're just really kind of coy and like lighthearted, chill. But you sound like a shark. I was about to say, you seem like a shark in some moments.
I be getting in executive mode real quick when it comes to like, I like to get stuff done.
And then even that, like what you've said it a couple times now about how important it is to just take an audit of yourself. And I would even commend you on being willing to receive feedback on like, okay, how am I coming across? How can I get better? Because I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they just live life from like one point of view, from their own point of view, and they have no kind of realization about how other people are experiencing them. So I think you pointing out the fact that like getting that feedback actually, it might not be favorable. Nobody really loves correction, but on the other side of it, you actually become like a whole better person, because now you have a more crystallized idea of like how you can show up in the world. Something else that you just said that made me think to your point of like really knowing the difference between being accurate and like tactful, so it's like, you can speak up because you know it, but how do I still come across to where like I'm not necessarily offending people, or I'm not coming across as if I'm just like not approachable, or that there's no room for me to be wrong, but still stand on your like solid foundation of like what you know. Because I think there's a lot of power in like when you have the information, you're right, you can stand on that level of accuracy, but it's a matter of like how you do it. So what is your actual approach now when you're like sitting back thinking like, like you can feel yourself bubbling, like, I'm about to speak up, I'm about to say something, like, let me just say it the right way. Like, walk me through the actual metrics that you're like going through in your head. Okay, like if I'm about to say it, let me say it this way, or let me come at it from this angle. Like, what is your approach?
I love that question. For me, it all starts with your emotions, right? I try to control my emotions. And I'm actually very good at it, but I feel like I've done the work to get good at it.
Yeah.
Like, you really have to work on yourself. And so for me, it's really taking the time to think through my thoughts.
Yes.
Like, it's okay to like take a pause. Think through your thoughts, control your emotions, and think about your audience. For me, I do a lot of speaking where I talk in front of executives and like other healthcare leaders, managers, and directors. And so I really have to like be on my game. I really have to know my audience and what I'm saying. And so I take a second, I really think through the question before I respond,
That's good.
And I do it, I try to phrase things as more like a question instead of like, like a statement, because that invites other people into the conversation.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good advice. And I think that's important because that first piece that you mentioned, just really learning how to regulate your emotions, is something that like it could be another muscle, another skill that translates into so many different areas, because you'll have so many different experiences in life where you're like, okay, this is a moment where I need to regulate my emotions. I feel like every day you gotta regulate your emotions pretty much every day.
Every single day.
Every space that you go into, it's like a new energy that you have to learn how to channel. So that's important. What was the work that you did in order to like learn how to regulate your emotions and take that pause or take that beat before just like jumping into something with the first face value, immediate, like how you feel? What was the work that you did to learn how to regulate your emotions?
I do a lot of like affirmations. I do a lot of like just thinking by myself. I love like reading and just like listening to music or just being silent and kind of thinking through stuff. And it really has been practiced, like just different situations. Like you can be in a situation where you're talking to a colleague and maybe the colleague is having a bad day or, whatever it could be, but you want to make sure that you're coming across very genuine and empathetic in that moment. And so for me, I take like every interaction as like a practice to help me get better at just communicating and just being a human being.
Yes.
Because I'm a relationship person, and so I think I value when I have connections, when I'm able to talk to people and things like that, and just take it as an opportunity to get better at communication every single day. That's really what it's about, I think.
Yeah. And I want to talk about something because, a lot of people, I feel like they might only really know one side of you, but obviously you've done a lot of work internally. But if people are looking at you externally, they may not know that you have done so much work to come across this specific way, like how you present yourself. So I'm interested to know, because you come off like very professional, very polished, very on point, very cute. Like the vibes are always there. The hair, the beat, the face, the shoes, the outfits, like all of that is on point, queen. Right?
Ditto.
Thank you. I receive it. But if we were to strip all of it away, everything, like just who is Tiasia without all of the things?
I love that question. Tiasia is very, I'm a lover girl. I'm very chill. I love my family. I love shopping. I love cooking. I just like to be human and just, I don't know, like I feel like I'm still learning myself every single day, but I do know who I am and I do know how I want other people to see me and how I want to see myself. I feel like it starts with yourself. So I see myself this way and I see myself show up in different environments and I feel like for me, because I'm a career girly, I am very career focused. And so like this version of me tends to show up different places. But tomorrow's 1st of July, I'm going to be with my family. A different version of me is going to show up there. Just chill, eating all the food, talking to family. And I want people to know that it's okay to show up differently in different spaces. Because that's what you're supposed to do. I feel like some people, I don't know what they call that, like code switching or something like that, but it's not. Like, you're not going to talk to your grandma the same way you talk to your boss.
That's 100%
like, let's
true.
Let's not even,
let's not do that.
Like,
that's so
it's
funny.
It's common sense. Yeah. Let's not.
Right, let's not. That's so funny. The interview that I had earlier today, he was talking about the exact same thing, like how he shows up in different spaces for different people, different environments, like exactly like what you're saying. You're not going to act like how you are going to be at the 4th of July cookout with family in the executive boardroom. Like, they're just not going to be the same. But then there's this other element of where you still want to have some level of authenticity, where it's like you're not being fake in these different environments. There's still some type of through line where it's like, okay, yeah, you're in these different spaces around these different people, but there's still something about you that still feels very Tiasia, like in every room that you go in.
Yeah.
How have you been able to kind of navigate that? Because there's so many facets to who you are in terms of like your identity and still just like holding true to who you are authentically. How have you been able to hold on to that?
Great question. I feel like for me, honestly, it's just like I mentioned, taking that self-audit, like really getting feedback. I feel like because people tend to say the same things about me in different spaces, no matter where I go, like I'm receiving that.
Yeah.
And so if they're seeing me like this, then I must be coming off the way that I'm presenting myself.
Yeah.
And so you really have to, you know, like receipts over opinions.
Yeah.
All opinions aren't going to be good for you, but you really need to figure out which ones are.
And if there's one that's like, okay, 5 people are telling me the same thing now.
Yeah.
I must. So I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious. What has been, since you've done so much work on feedback and have so much feedback, I'm curious to know what has been like the hardest feedback for you to, 2-part question, the hardest feedback for you to hear. And if it's the same, the hardest feedback that's been the hardest for you to change?
Great question. Let me give it some thought.
Okay.
Maybe like showing up better, like in terms of like, you know, talking more, being more visible. I feel like that's been, like, I've received that feedback because I feel like people want to hear from me. Like, a lot of people think I'm quiet, and I may be quiet in certain spaces, but I'm actually not.
Really?
Not.
Okay.
And so I think just talking more.
But can you see that, like when they're saying that? Do you see that, or is it like, I don't know what y'all mean? Like, I feel like I'll be talking, or do you can see what people are saying?
Yeah, I can see it because I'm definitely the type of person where I have to fill it out first. Like, and I don't care how long it takes me to fill it out. Like, I'm not gonna just talk to you right off the bat. I'm not that person who's, you know, some people.
I see. I'm that person. I think I'm that person that you're describing that you're not. I could just talk like anybody. I don't have to fill it out. It's just like, I'm the opposite where it's just like I'm in a space, I'm in a room, and it's like I could be on a cruise on the elevator with like a random person, and I was just like, hi, like I probably I get that feedback like, Neisha, stop talking.
No, I love that.
Dial it back. See that? So, but it's about balance.
Yeah.
And you know, just getting that feedback. Okay, so you would say that's the feedback that you get the most is people are like, come on, like, girl, are you here? Like, talk more. Like, present yourself.
Talk a little bit more. You know, talk a little bit more.
And that's
but I just from be like, well, why do you want me to talk? Like what you want me to say?
Yeah, like, okay, what are we talking about? Let's talk. What?
Yeah, let's talk. What you want to know?
That is so funny. But where's that? Where do you think that's coming from? Because it has to be rooted from somewhere that you're not feeling like that you can, I guess, just show up in that way, like immediately. Is that something that you're working to change, or you're just like, I don't think there's anything wrong with me observing a situation before, you know, I fill it out first?
I would say it depends on the space I'm in. Like if I'm willing to change it or not. Because I like that about myself. I'm gonna be honest. You know, I hear that feedback. I hear that feedback mostly from like maybe like colleagues who want me to speak more. Not really from like friends, because I show up differently like in you know, when I'm talking to my friends, because they know me better. Like work people don't know me. Like y'all just know the work
side of you.
And so I feel like I like that about myself. Honestly. But I am starting to show up better like at work and like when it comes to speaking about me and my business and stuff like that. So I would say it's a balance, like you said.
Yeah.
But I do receive that feedback, and I do take it, and I do, put myself
You're trying to
out
like
there.
trickle it in more.
Yes,
Like,
which I'm finding.
yes, okay, we taking steps,
We
y'all.
taking steps. See, we're receiving that feedback and
Yes.
we're implementing it.
Yeah,
You
and I
know?
think even that, like what you're saying, a lot of people feel like when you have to change, or people will tell you, oh, you need to change this, you need to change this, that they have to do like a complete 180. They don't see it as something that they can start to begin to do incrementally. It doesn't always have to be like this big substantial leap, or like even like, let's just say, for example, people want to stop drinking, they want to stop smoking, like you don't always have to stop cold turkey. Like you can start incrementally with just even starting to think about that you want to change. Like let that, like step by step, little by little, and then you can start to like become the person that you want to be over time, and then you'll start showing up, in that way, and not having all these opinions.
Yes, I love that. And that's great that you said it, because that's actually a method that's used in like healthcare and public health.
Incremental steps?
Incremental steps. Like, because most people don't change. Like, okay, I'm going to change tomorrow. I'm going to stop smoking tomorrow. That's like not realistic.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to do it baby steps.
Yes.
And if it can apply in like health, you can apply that to your real life too.
100%.
So
I'm going to pick another chapter and I want you to talk about it.
okay.
This
do
is
one
good.
at the beginning. I feel like
okay, let me do one towards the beginning. Okay.
Maybe 1 or 2 or 3.
Okay, let me see. I
4.
feel like I'm in the beginning.
Oh, maybe
I'm in
4.
3.
Okay, what does that say?
The myth of relatability.
The myth of relatability. Oh,
You want that one, or you want that one?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
that's a good
okay.
one.
The myth of relatability. Tell me about that.
That kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about like social media, and how people tend to follow people that are like relatable.
Okay.
Or people tend to like even not so following, maybe listening to people or taking advice from people that's relatable. But one of the things I talk about in that chapter is, I feel like, okay, relatability is important. Like you really have to be relatable. But my thing is, if you're relatable to this person, but they haven't gone to the place that you're trying to get to, why take their advice? Like you
that goes back to the receipt.
Yes, you gotta take, like, where are you trying to go, and who has gotten there, who has traveled that path, and overcome it.
Yes, that's like taking marriage advice from Auntie, who's like
never been married,
never
had a successful relationship. Baby, I gotta get with somebody who has a successful relationship, and a successul marriage. Like I love you, but you ain't what I'm looking for.
It'd be the loudest one, loud and wrong.
Yeah, and I think more people need to think about it like that, because to me it makes sense, right? Like if they have gone this road and they have overcome, whatever it is you're trying to get, the place you're trying to get to.
Why do you say, like, why are you saying the myth of relatability? Like, what aspect of learning if people are relatable or not is the myth? Like, what is the myth that people are looking for in this chapter? Yeah.
So the myth is basically how society, in terms of today's culture, with the social media culture and the people, like maybe influencers are just loud. People are following them because something they're saying may be, accurate, or they may have done it, or maybe they not. Maybe they don't know. But because they're relatable, like, which is the myth,
buy in.
You buy in.
Yeah.
And that's the myth part. Like, you're buying into something that's really not true.
That
unless you can prove it, or unless they can prove it.
Yeah. So that's good, because what I'm hearing that you're saying about this chapter is that it can become dangerous in some cases if people are likable but not credible.
Credible, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay, let me pick a different one.
Exactly.
That is good.
I love this.
Yes.
Yes, girl.
So when you do your book tour, can have me back for the fireside chat.
Oh,
we can unpack this
please.
book.
I would love to.
Okay, 4 says ask for the resume.
Oof, girl.
Love
this
Okay, I'm
one.
gonna let you unpack that. I feel like I might know, but I'd rather hear from you.
Yes. And I want to hear what you got to say too, and that's what this book is all about. But this is a big one because it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like in terms of society and just like the culture in general of today. When you go for a job interview, what they asking for? Your resume. Why they asking for that? They want to know your proof and if you're credible or not. Like, people are not just going to hire you based off what you tell them.
Exactly.
And for me, I feel like that is the business side of it, career aspect of it. But I feel like that's not applied in people's personal lives. And to me, that chapter is about, we need to apply the same like standard that we do in our careers, in our personal lives too.
Yeah.
Because what have you done, and why should I take your advice? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And so I need to see that resume.
Yeah, and I think people are afraid to ask. You know, that's why I'm like, I think it's so interesting that you use that word, ask for the resume.
Yes.
Like, don't just assume, you know, like hold people accountable.
Yes. That is exactly it. Hold people accountable. I think it's missing in today. We need to hold people accountable.
Yeah, that is so, I mean,
it's okay. It's okay to ask those questions.
Yes.
Because,
and then
like,
even if the answer is no,
Yeah.
that's even speaking louder that, okay, they don't got the receipts.
Yes.
Like,
and like, why not ask the question? Whoever you're asking the question to, if they have a problem with you, you know, asking this question, or even they feel like they shouldn't be questioned, because some people are like that too. They don't like to be questioned. Baby, everybody can be questioned.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're the president, a doctor, lawyer.
That's how I feel.
Whoever you are, if I got a question, I'm going to ask it.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And I feel like this book is really cool too, because even just that chapter in itself, it gives license in autonomy for women to feel like I can ask for this.
That's the word.
Like, I have every right. I have every like freedom given to me to be able to like request this or even require this of you. And so that autonomy. Is so autonomy is so powerful.
Word. That's a powerful word.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't use their autonomy. We have free will. Use it.
Exactly.
We got free will. I'm using all my free will.
Yeah, I'm running out of free will. Like I'm gonna use it until I'm all out, baby. That is so good. I love that. Okay, so as we get ready to close, your story is just so interesting. If you were to kind of like take a look back and think about all of your receipts, all of the opinions that you've received, is there any that stand out to where you're like, you know what, I had to learn to have this opinion about myself in order to become this version of who I am today?
Absolutely. Oh, there's so many. I think where I'm at in today in my life, I'm really focused on like myself and doing what I want to do. You know, showing up for myself more. I think I had to learn that because I was kind of just like, oh, I should do this just because, you know, it's the right thing to do. Or maybe like other people are looking to me, they think that I should do this. But really just learning to listen to my own voice and to really focus on myself and what I want, you know, and not so much other people's opinions of me. Yeah. And I kind of like just free myself from other people's opinions and really just tune out the noise, tune it out, filter it out. Receipts over opinions will teach you how, I promise you.
I love that. And what would you say if you were to look back at all of your success, all that you've accomplished career-wise, personal, relational, what receipt are you most proud of?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think for me, the biggest one is like who I am, my heart. I'm very much like a joyful person. I'm very much like a person who I like to advocate for other people and make people feel safe. Especially if you're in my presence. I feel like at the end of the day, we're all human, right? And no matter what, like I have a lot of credentials. I have a lot of accolades. Yeah. And I love all of that. But what I love mostly is who I am, the person I am, you know? And yeah, I feel like your character is the biggest thing that you have. And what people know you for, that's what they're going to remember when you die. Nobody's going to remember, like, I wrote this book. Nobody's going to remember that I have a master's in public health nutrition. Nobody's going to remember that I won a, you know, leadership award. Like, nobody's going to remember those things.
They're going to remember how you made them feel.
They're going to remember how I make them feel.
Yep, and who you are as a person.
And that's what I love.
I love that. Well, I love you, and you make me feel amazing.
You make me feel amazing. I love this.
This was fun, huh?
This was fun, and it was just, like, easy to talk.
Good.
You know, and I feel like I feel like my personality came through.
Yes. And I have like a different side of you. I was like, let's go get some drinks after this. We're going to have lunch. But yeah, I am like, again, this is not a small feat. Like you've of course accomplished so many things, but just like writing your own book, it's like in my hand, like it's in, like it's real, it's tangible, it's here. And that takes a lot to literally have an idea and then just one thing to think it, but another thing to like be holding it, you know?
Whatever you're doing in your mind, your goals, your dreams, go ahead and execute on those. Execute. That's the
so
word.
powerful.
Yes.
Okay, so when people go to buy the book, not if,
Yeah.
Where do they go? How can they support you?
Awesome. Thank you for asking that. And so you can go on Amazon and search Receipts Over Opinions. It is available. And you can also follow me at Tiasia Saunders across all platforms. And you can go to www.tiasiasaunders.com. Receipts Over Opinions is available there. If you purchase the book, you're also available to get some bonuses for free. And so if you purchase the book, go to my Instagram and click on my link tree. There's a form that you fill out, and I will send you all of the bonuses that go along with the book, because it's important. It's one thing to just read a book, but you really need to focus on execute. That's how you get that transformation. Receipts Over Opinions available today. Y'all go get it.
I got my copy. Yay. Thank you again for coming on. You are just amazing. I'm going to continue to see you soar and shine, and I just appreciate you taking the time to stop by.
Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. I love watching and everything you do, and so I know I'm going to see you somewhere else doing your thing.
Yes,
speaking,
ma'am. Both of us.
Making that impact.
Yes.
I just love watching you. And
Receipts Over Opinions.
Yes, you got those receipts, baby. You got all of the receipts.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.